Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Farah Amira binti Zulkifli and my number battery is 281478. In this assignment number 3, my task is to provide an explanation of the Swot analysis provided in the rules for one of the Islamic banks. I choose to explore Bank Muamalat Malaysia Berhad after completing some research. To better understand about the Bank Muamalat Malaysia Berhad Swot analysis, first allow me to provide some background information about the Bank Muamalat Malaysia Berhad. So, Bank Muamalat is a leading Islamic bank. It was founded on October 1st, 1999 and is governed by the Islamic Financial Service Act of 2013. The bank has a wide range of services that can meet the needs of both individuals and businesses. With 67 branches, Bank Muamalat is present all over the country. On November 15, 2017, Bank Muamalat became a member of the Global Alliance Banking on Values. Bank Muamalat is the first Islamic bank in the world and the first in the Southeast Asian region to be accepted as a member of a Global Alliance for Banking on Values. This shows that people are becoming more interested in the value-based banking movement. Bank Muamalat Malaysia Berhad strength may be broken down into two categories, which is being the second Islamic bank in the country to have a fully operational branch network and financial infrastructure, and having a strong shareholder. Bank Muamalat Malaysia Berhad is one of the only two full-fledged Islamic bank operating in Malaysia today. Bank Muamalat is a pioneer in the banking business, since it was one of the first to open its doors, in addition to having 67 branches all across the country in particular. Besides, Bank Muamalat Malaysia Berhad is one of the banks that have a strong shareholders. Strong shareholders such as Al-Bukhari Group and Khazanah Nasional are among those who own share in Bank Muamalat Malaysia Berhad. These owners provide the company with financial and commercial opportunities that are made possible via group collaboration. For example, Bank Muamalat Malaysia Berhad might consider providing banking services to all of the employees working for firms that are part of the Al-Bukhari and Khazanah Nasional groups for enterprises. For weaknesses, Bank Muamalat Malaysia Berhad have 5 weaknesses, which are loans with a low interest rate, high initial investment and ongoing operational expenses, low profit margin, inadequate capital basis and restricted market orientation. So, loan with a low interest. Because Bank Muamalat has a small share of all loans in Malaysian banking, the loan base tends to grow less and less over time. Based on the total value of its asset, it has more branches than its competitors. If the indicators bank offer to their customer is the number of branches, it should be clear that lending makes up a bigger part of the business. But Bank Muamalat Malaysia Berhad didn't hold up. This means that the bank is only making as much money as it should from its current branches. So what does it mean by high initial investment and ongoing operational expenses? In short, the goal of Bank Muamalat Malaysia Berhad is to get more customers and make the bank more competitive against branch banks by offering more services. Because of this, setting up a branch network banking system is very expensive, and the ongoing costs like salaries and other overhead would be even higher. Costs for rent and utilities were also included in the overall budget for running the business. Next is a low profit margin. Most of the bank's money comes from the service fees and interest it earns on its assets. The low base of Bank Muamalat Malaysia Berhad, on the other hand, seems to hurt the bank's bottom line. This ratio shows that the bank is not using its asset and equity as well as it could make money. High operating costs and low staff turnover have made it harder for bank to make money. Next is an insufficient capital base. With the 300 billion ringgit Malaysia in paid-up capital, Bank Muamalat Malaysia Berhad can't give out as many loans as it would like. To meet the minimum requirements, the bank risk-weight capital ratio must be at least 8%, and the amount of loan it can give out must be at least like 3.7 billion. For the lending base to grow, more money would have to come in. Next is restricted market orientation is the last one. Bank Muamalat Malaysia Berhad is still doing business the way it has always done, which is based on walking customers at its different location. This model can compete with other banks because it isn't based on the market. This means that the bank's business sales will go down, while other banks work hard to make banking easier for the customers by giving them options like mobile sales, frauds, online banking, and phone banking. Bank Muamalat might see an opportunity in the fact that the number of Muslims around the world is growing. The United Nations thinks that by 2030, there will be more Muslims than non-Muslims, and Muslims will make up more than a quarter of the world's population. Also, the efforts of the government to make Malaysia a center for Islamic banking are likely to help business grow even more. In Malaysia, Islamic banking is becoming less and less seen as a system only for Muslims and more seen as an alternative to the traditional banking. Bank Muamalat may have seen a chance in the steady rise in the number of customers who want consumer banking services. Consumer credit demand, which makes up like 40% of the total loan volume in Malaysia's banking system, is expected to continue to play a big part in the overall growth of credit in the banking system. Because of this, Islamic finance pays more attention to the demand for consumer goods. In the Islamic banking system, consumer demand is expected to rise to the point where it will make up about 60% of all Islamic financing. And finally, T is for threats. For Bank Muamalat, the fact that competition is getting stronger could be a source of trouble. As globalization of finance continues to grow, the Islamic banks are finding it hard to compete for staff with traditional banks, which have a long history of success. Since Islamic banks are based on the system of sharing profits and loss, one of the biggest problems is coming up with new products and services to attract deposits and make a good use of money. Islamic banks, like any other bank that use a system based on the idea of compound interest, must stay competitive to meet their customers' needs and also follow Islamic Sharia rules when making a new product. Also, the Bank Muamalat Malaysia Berhad might not have enough people in the right skills. In Malaysia, where the number of Islamic banks is growing, there aren't enough workers who are skilled enough to take on a position of responsibility. This is a problem for the industry. This is making it hard for the sector to grow. It is expected that there will be a rise in the need for employees who know not only about Sharia but also about the banking. So, every Islamic bank might need a good way to find and keep great employees. So, in the end, the SWOT analysis of Bank Muamalat Malaysia Berhad shows that the bank has the potential to see its opportunities for expanding its services around the world. This is because it is one of only 2 fully functioning Islamic banks in Malaysia. They would be able to offer more services through their bank if they had more customers. This is because their bank is known for its high-tech services that are in line with Sharia and its excellent customer service. To reach its goals, the bank must work to minimize its current flaws and avoid the risks it faces. It must also try to make the most of its strength and minimize its weakness.